Hi, I'm Jake Kruger, and this is Christian biology. I'd like to create a video series, kind of just going over how biology and our lives as Christians actually connect more than we realize. So just a little bit background for people who have not watched Blind Faith or anything. I am completely blind, so I apologize. I'm probably not going to keep this video perfectly on my face or perfectly level, but I'm going to try my best. I am just going to be starting my master's in biology. I do not have any education relating to theology or Christians or anything like that. However, I have been a Catholic since a baby. Go to church every Sunday and stuff. However, I'm not going to focus this video on Catholicism or any of my videos in the series on Catholicism. I'd like it to be Christians in general, because the honest truth of the matter is being a Christian and being a biologist sometimes seems to be counteractive. Like, it's like, I remember when I first started, I almost felt like it was like a double life. Go to school and learn about biology and act like God doesn't exist at school, and then come home and God exists now, because God always exists to me, of course. And it became very difficult. I was like, well, a lot of the stuff biology is saying makes sense. A lot of the things Christians are saying make sense, but they don't agree. And I was like, am I alone on this? But over time, or the other people believe this as well, but over time, I start really digging in it more, because the honest truth of the matter is, the biology part of me says that an unanswered question is not good. If you come up with a question, you need to try to at least come up with a concept or something that matches with it. So I really start digging. I'll be honest, I probably haven't answered close to even a quarter of the questions, or even a tenth of the questions probably, that are out there on biology and Christians and how they interact and stuff. Sorry if you hear chewing noises. I do have a guide dog as well, and she is chewing on an Isla bone right now, but yeah, so it's really important to reach those people. In fact, I just read a autobiography kind of thing by a famous biologist that never met him before. He seems to be a great biologist. And I learned in this thing that he was Christian. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's awesome. And all of a sudden, at the end of the autobiography, he's like, and unfortunately, my biology training made it so I lost my faith in God, and I was unable to regain it. And I'm like, how many people go through biology education and lose their faith because it seems like they don't connect at all? And so it really pushed me to start making these videos, because I've put a lot of thought into and stuff, and there are many things in the Bible that jump out at me. And I'm going to try skimming through the Bible as I go. Like I said, I am in grad school, so I'm going to be very busy. So I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to make a video every day or every week or even every month. If I get into a busy month, I mean, I'm teaching classes, I'm researching, and I'm taking classes. So I'm pretty busy. So I might not have a ton of time to just sit down and consider concepts, but it felt really important to me to start these videos, just because I really think that there's a lot of people out there struggling with a lot of the stuff I just went over and stuff. And even as people that didn't go for biology, in high school biology, there are a lot of concepts covered that are hard to connect with being a Christian. The important thing to understand is, I feel like as Christians, sometimes we skim over these questions or whatever, and we're just like, okay, I'm not quite sure that answer is, maybe the biologists are wrong, and we move on. And the thing is maybe this works for us as Christians for a while and stuff, but it's not going to help us convert new people to Christianity, which Christianity, less and less people are following. So we need to convert people to Christianity. And then people that are struggling with their faith, it's not going to help them stay in Christianity, because when there's so many things that we're like, we are unable to understand, that makes it difficult to help those people. And even in a situation that when we're having let's say a Christian and a biologist can debate about God or whatever, and the biologist is making some points, and the Christian really doesn't have any answers to those points, because the Bible doesn't outright come out and cover it. So the Christian's like, oh, God said it so. Well, that biologist is going to mark in their book that they won the debate just because the Christian doesn't have answers. So the important thing to keep in mind is that as Christians, we need to try to at least come up with some, as the biologist would put it, some hypotheses on why science doesn't always agree with the Bible and stuff. And honest truth of the matter is, during my biology degree, the devil's really good at jumping out at me with that kind of stuff. That I'd be sitting there in class and I'd be taking notes, and all of a sudden in my head, all of a sudden pop up that, wait a minute, that doesn't match the Bible. Yet this professor has really good evidence that that happened. Fossil record or whatever. So, what happened here? And devil would be really good getting in my mind at that point, trying to push it through. Maybe it's because the Bible's wrong, or isn't accurate or whatever. And usually those questions I'd try to just file away, because at first I'm like, it's beyond me to understand the answers. That, well, as I went on in my biology career and continue to grow as a Christian, I would be skimming through the Bible, and all of a sudden hit a random place, and all of a sudden the words would just jump off the page at me, and I'd be like, wait a minute, it doesn't outright directly say that's the answer to the question I had in biology, but it really adds up and makes a lot of sense. That right there is the answer I was looking for. And this was going to be 6 months, sometimes a year later. I was telling my friend McKay, I mean, there was several times that I would come up with a question my first semester of my bachelor's in biology. And one of those questions took me until my fourth year to all of a sudden stumble upon it in the first 5 pages of the Bible. And I'm like, oh my goodness, has this been sitting here this whole time? And I've skimmed through the Bible. I've never read the whole thing, so I'll admit, I don't know the Bible perfectly. I've read the beginning several hundred times, trying to probably not quite that many times, but probably at least 5 to 10 times. Because every time I sit down, I'm like, I'm going to read the whole Bible from cover to cover. And then I get to about a fourth of the way through, and I lose my spot, and I have to restart. And I put it aside because I'm like, oh, that's going to be a lot of work. And I'm busy at school, I'll do it later. In about 6 months, I'm like, I really need to read the Bible. That's a goal of mine. And I pick it up, and I get about fourth through, so lose my spot again, and start all over. So, I mean, in the first 5 pages, that is something I had read probably 15, 20 times. And yet, it didn't jump out of the book at me until I was in, I mean, like I said, 3 years after I came up with that question. Which makes the important thing to understand is that there is a time to understand things and stuff, but sometimes that time isn't now. So when you have questions like that, I'd say it's important not to ignore them, but to write them down. I'm going to give you my email address. It's not my personal one. This is more like a one for these videos. So, my personal email address that I'll give you, you can send these questions to, and I'll kind of file them away too, and see if anything jumps out at me as well, and maybe some of the questions might be easy for me to answer, and I'm like, oh yeah, I figured that out several years ago. Or maybe I get the question and I'm like, ooh, that's a really tough one, and I'll just need to stand it for a while and think about it and stuff. And as a Christian community, we need to really come together and answer these questions too, because God will guide us to the answers, but we need to learn how to listen, and we need to work together, because I don't think that any single one of us is going to come up with every answer that can be answered or that can be asked. And every question that can be asked, I don't think we're going to come up with an answer to every single one, but it is extremely important to answer these questions, like I said, because otherwise it seems like our religion is faulty to outsiders because we are just skimming over things, or like, I don't actually know that, or it's beyond my understanding, that's only for God to know, and stuff like that. I mean, some things are only for God to know, and some things we might be 100% wrong on, but at least if we come up with reasoning and try to back it up using the Bible and biology and stuff, it will help people maybe that are struggling with their faith and stuff to understand. It's important, more than ever now in today's world, I'd say, as Christians, to try to connect with biology as well and draw them together, because biology is something that is a requirement to be taught in every school, and the biology that's taught does not include anything about Christianity or anything, so it makes it really difficult then for children and stuff taking these classes. And these classes, some of these classes, their parents and grandparents may have been taught differently, so it's really difficult for even the parents and grandparents to explain to them, oh, I understand it this way, or oh, this way, and stuff like that. That it sometimes is difficult, and it's important as a Christian community to come through and help these students, these college students, these high school students, middle school students, elementary school students, and even children before that point that sometimes have questions about their faith that seem like a very innocent, easy question, but sometimes they can be very difficult to answer and stuff. So as Christians, we need to try to at least come up with explanations and stuff, and try to explain things. So in these videos, I'm going to try to do my best. Like I said, I'm not hired by anyone to do this. It's not a school-sponsored event. It's not sponsored by the church or anything. So I don't even have any religious education, but all these videos will be based off of my understanding, and you might come up with a totally different theory of how things happen, but I'd be happy for you to send me an email and share it with me or whatever, and maybe I look at the two theories and I'm like, oh my goodness, I thought mine made sense, but yours really makes sense. Because, I mean, like I said, it's just a guess. Guesses can be inaccurate, and it's possible my best guess is not how it happened at all, and God's sitting up there and going, you're getting warmer, but you're not really close yet. Or maybe God's even saying up there, you're getting colder, actually. But it's important, especially as trying to understand these things, to get the word out and really share these theories and stuff, because a lot of the times people want to believe. It's just when you're taking all these biology classes and stuff, some people might struggle to believe because they're like, oh my goodness, like, how do we have fossils of Neanderthals? Important concept to understand. Neanderthals are different than modern humans. They've got the prominent brow ridges and stuff. And for a while, most people actually believe that, like non-scientists actually believe that when they hear the word Neanderthal, it is an early, like basically a caveman, which is another name for him, but they believe that's an early human, like it's the same as us. But honest truth of the matter is genetically they're two different species, capable of interbreeding, but they're two different species, or if you want to call it subspecies instead. But so the important thing to understand is that things like that, we've got fossils of those people, but the Bible says that God created humans in likeness of him. So why do we have ancient humans that seem to predate the Bible that don't match that description? And the thing is I'm not going to answer that in this video, because this video is going to be long enough as it is. It has to be one of my first videos after this introductory video. I'm going to answer that question and go over and stuff, because honest truth matters. There are many things like that people are questioning and stuff, and it is important to, again, answer those questions to help people grow in their faith and stuff. So if you guys have any questions to ask, or any comments, or any of your own theories, my email address is jt1kruger@gmail.com, jt1kruger@gmail.com. Like I said, just send over questions, stuff like that. You can comment on these videos and ask questions. Please share this as widely as you can, because again, these concepts are important to get out to people that are struggling as biologists and Christians. I was lucky, though, as a Christian biologist, to have several what I call God moments, that God just jumped out at me, and whether it was a dream or something that happened in the waking world, I've had interactions with God and stuff that I feel like maybe aren't fully like direct, but like I recognize God in them and stuff, and so I've been lucky in my faith to keep a strong faith throughout. But I want to reach those people that maybe have these questions, have a strong faith, kind of like I did, or have these questions and their faith is getting weaker because they're not getting answered. So please share this, and let me know if you have questions, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you.